Okay, hello guys, welcome back. And are you guys ready to make this super fast, super easy top? Not even joking. Overall, it took me 2 hours to make. So what you're gonna need for the small medium is 308, not even 380 yards. Let me show you what I have left. This was a brand new ball. And this is, to be honest with you, I think you can do small, medium, and large with this, maybe even extra large, but to be on the safe side. So this is Joann's Big Twist, any color you want. If you're not gonna use Joann's, for reference, this is 380 yards, and I have this much left over. So yeah, you really don't need much. And for the large, extra large, just to be on the safe side, I would go ahead and get, and we are going to use a 5mm hook for the waistband, and a 5.5mm hook for the front panel that you will see. You're also going to need some scissors, a darning needle, and either a Tunisian hook or a crochet hook that doesn't have a rubber handle on it. The reason is we're going to use these to pull our drawstring through that neck portion. So you can do it with this, but it has to be something that doesn't have one of these rubbery grip handles on it, okay? Or if you have like a 5mm Tunisian hook, really truly, these are all you need. Okay guys, I'm super excited to show this to you. It's gonna start to get, it's cold now, right? It's still cold in a lot of parts of the world, a lot of parts of the United States now, but it's never too early to start getting late spring, early summer ready. So let's get right into it. What you are going to wanna do is we're gonna start the waistband. So using our 5mm H5mm hook, make your slip knot. You know guys, I always like to make my tails kind of long because I'm insecure about my weave-ins. So now we're going to chain 9. So this will be 8 stitches wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Try that again. 6, 7, 8, and 9. I like to work in the back bumps when it comes to the ribbing. So in the back bump, in the second back bump from the hook, work your first single crochet. This will be worked in single crochet, but it will go really quick because it's very narrow. Now, how many rows of this really all comes down to your measuring tape. Now, as some of you know, if you're not new to my channel, I make everything to fit my mannequin. So for my mannequin, it was 82 rows. And she is a size small. She's about a size 6. I've gotten away with making things on her that fit a size 8. So I would say she's a size 6, size 8. But she's very small. And so the front panel, I do have specific stitch counts for that. But as far as the waistband goes, that's really going to depend on your measuring tape. So measure yourself around your navel or just above your navel, either way. And work that many inches worth of rows. You don't have to worry about being specific. There's no specific row count needed. You don't need to make sure that you end on an odd or an even number. None of that is going to matter. One row isn't going to make a difference. If you want it to be even, I'm kind of particular that way. I like my rows to be even if I can. So that's why I have 82, even though 81 was perfect fit for my mannequin. I added 1 extra row because I'm weird about, I want them to be even. So it's not going to make or break it if you want to go 1 extra or 1 less. Does not matter. So with my ribbing, what I like to do is work the first stitch and the last stitch as a full normal single crochet. And then all the stitches in the middle are back loop only. So we're going to chain 1, turn, and into both loops. So you're going to go just like we're working a normal regular stitch. You will work both loops. 1 single crochet. Now you will work back loop only. So you have your 2 loops right here. The one closest to you is called the front loop, and the one furthest away from you is called the back loop. So the remaining stitches up to the last stitch will be back loop only, just like this. And this really will go very quick. I think I did mine while watching like YouTube videos and being totally distracted. It was like 30 or 35 minutes. It wasn't that long at all. And then the very last stitch here on the end, we go through both loops, just like a normal single crochet. This will make working into the side of your ribbing So stinking easy. You'll see. Chain 1, turn, and work the first stitch like a normal single crochet through both loops, then back loop only. That's going to be 6 total stitches back loop only, and then your 8th stitch on the end will be through both loops. Okay, so repeat this over and over again until you have the length that you need, and come on back. I'll show you what we're going to do next. Super easy, super stinking cute, and you can find this stitch pattern that we're going to use on my channel as just an independent stitch pattern that you can use for, gosh, blankets or decorative throw pillows, all kinds of things. You're really, really going to like this stitch pattern. It's super fun and cute. Okay, I'll be right back whenever I have all of my rows worked up. Okay, I have all of my ribbing rows done, 82 rows. Now, to figure out where we're going to start working our panel up, what I did, yes, I do have one less on one side than the other. This side has 19, this side has 20 rows in. And you're probably thinking, why not just add an extra row so that you have 20 on both sides? Right, that makes perfect sense, but I already added an extra row to make. I'm cool with it being offset by 1 row because it's really not going to make that big of a difference. That being said, how you figure out your placement for where you're going to put your stitch markers so that you know where you're going to start working your panel up. I started with 15 stitches. So, like I had mentioned before, working a single crochet on both sides is going to make it super easy for us to find the side stitches that we need to work into. All you have to do is just pull aside a little bit. Like this is going to be number 1, 2, and you can see them, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be so easy for us to find our stitches. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Right, so I put a stitch marker in there. I did the same on this side, counted up to 15. Then the very next stitch over, I started counting because we need 43 available stitches between our stitch markers for the size small, medium. For the size large, extra large, you will need 56. But for the small, medium, we need 43. So from the very next stitch over, from where my stitch marker was, I just counted 43 stitches. What my remainder was, I divided that in half between the 2 sides. And I just moved this one 5 stitches over more, moved this one 4 stitches over more. I have my 43 in the middle, and so now we're good to go. Don't put your stitch marker on any of the stitches that we're going to work on. Put them before. So this is actually, right here is 1 of 43. So 1, 2, 3. And this one right here is 43, okay? Now that we have that out of the way, remember, it's 56 for large, extra large. So now what we're going to do is into the stitch right next to the stitch marker, go ahead and join your yarn. And we're going to start with 2 rows of single crochet. Oops, there we go. Join, slip stitch, and into the same stitch we slip stitched into, we work our first single crochet. And then in every stitch after, every hole that you see up here along the top, work 1 single crochet, and we're going to work 2 total rows of single crochet. See how easy it is for us to find our stitches? That is because we worked a full single crochet instead of back loop only on the beginning and the end of the row. And here's how the bottom will look. Nice and clean and straight. I like it. Okay, so work 1 row of single crochet, little hair. Little hair. I'm shedding, y'all. Work 1 row of single crochet, chain 1, work your first single crochet in your first stitch, and come on back and meet back up with me when you're back to your first stitch marker that you're starting at. Okay, now we have our 2 rows of single crochet. So chain 1, And in the first 2 single crochet, work 1 single crochet into each of those. Now we're going to work a front post double crochet in the next stitch over, but around the row 1 single crochet, so right here. So you'll go around that post and then pull up on it a little bit. You don't want these stitches to be too tight, because if they are too tight, they will begin to force the front of the panel to buckle and curl in on itself. Now in the next stitch over, work 1 single crochet and come on down here, right here, and we're going to work another front post double crochet. See, this is the single crochet that we just worked over the top of, so we're going to skip this one, and then the next one over, we're working a front post double crochet. Again, pull up on it just a little bit. Now we're going to work 4 single crochet. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now a 4 wrap puff stitch. So yarn over, go into the stitch and pull up a loop. That's 1. Yarn over, pull up a loop. That's 2. Yarn over, do it 2 more times. That's 3. And that's 4. Now you will have 9 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 8 of them, leaving the last one unworked. Here we go. And yarn over and pull through both of those. Okay, now we're going to work 4 single crochet. And after we work our first one, that's going to pop our puff stitch out on the wrong side. So all of our puff stitches are going to have to be manually popped forward, but once you do pop them forward, they're going to stay in place. So that's 1 single crochet, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to work the 2 front post double crochet again. So this is the last stitch we worked. So here's the next single crochet over. Come on down to the single crochet just below it, and that's where you're going to work your front post double crochet. Pull up a little bit. And now we work a single crochet into the next stitch over. And that is the line where we just worked. So now the next single crochet over, come on down to this one, and we work our next front post double crochet. Pull up a little. 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we work our next puff stitch. Of course, this is going to be the repeat. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yarn over and pull through 8 loops, leaving 1 unworked. Then yarn over and pull through those 2. Work our 4 single crochet. 1, pop out that puff stitch. 2, 3, and 4. Now we work the front post double crochet again. Here's our next single crochet over, and here just below it is the single crochet we're going to work around. So that is, let me do that one again because I didn't make it very loose. Here we go. 1 single crochet, next stitch over, come on down and work your next front post double crochet. 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we work our next puff stitch right here, the next stitch over. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yarn over, pull through 8. Then yarn over, pull through 2. Then we work 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pop that little puff stitch out. Now we work our front post double crochet. So here is our last stitch worked. So we're going to work around this post down here. 1 single crochet in the next stitch over. Front post double crochet. And a single crochet in each of the last 2 stitches. Now, every other row, will be just a row of single crochet. So whenever you're working on the back panel, the back of the panel, sorry, can't speak right. When you're working on the back of the panel where the puffs are facing away from you, you're working a single crochet all the way across that row. Okay, so I will be back when we get to the end of the row, and you will work into the puff stitch, which will be the longer looking crochet stitch right here, single crochet stitch. That is right on top of the puff. You do need to work a stitch into that. Okay, guys, I'll be back when we get down to the end. Okay, now we're going to work what I like to call our 2, 3, 2 row. So you're going to chain 1 and turn. Now every other row, basically the row where we're going to be working the puff stitches and all that, every other row is going to start exactly the same way, with 2 single crochet, 1 front post double crochet. Remember to keep it kind of loose. A single crochet between the 2 front posts. So naturally 1 more front post around the front post. Now here's where the 2, 3, 2 comes. It helps that way you don't have to keep rewinding the video and referring back to it. Once you get it in your head, it's in there. So 2, 3, 2 is like this. We work 2 single crochet after we work our front posts. Work 2 single crochet. Work your puff stitch in the 3rd single crochet over. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now you will work 3 single crochet. So here's where the 3 comes in at. 1, 2, and 3. Work your next puff. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And work 2 single crochet in the next 2 single crochet over. And so this is how we have our 2, 3, 2. And this will be the repeat all the way to the end. Now we will work our front post double crochets with the single crochet separating them. One single, 1 front post, and 2 single crochet. So now we have our 2, work a puff, here's our 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and work a puff, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and work our 2 single crochet. So that is your 2, 3, 2 row. There you go. So work this repeat all the way to the end. If these little hairs don't quit, my whole world is covered in little hairs. That sounds gross, I know. Between me and my dog. Okay, so finish working this repeat all the way to the end. I'll meet back up with you at the end. Okay, now like we had worked before, we're going to turn and work 1 row of single crochet all the way to the end. Remember, every time we're working the back panel, it's always just a simple row of single crochet. There you go. All the way to the end. Right over the top of that puff stitch, and just keep on moving down. I'll be back when we get to the end. Okay, now we're going to work what I like to call the 4 and 4 row. It's going to be okay, first of all, first things first, let's start the row, and it's going to start as per usual with 2 single crochet, front post double, 1 single crochet, and front post double. Now the 4, 4, and 4 is going to be just like what we did down here on our first row. Let me get a little yarn so I'm not fighting with it. So we're going to work 4 single crochet, then a puff, then 4 single crochet. So that was 3 and 4. Our next puff will line us up right on top of the first puff. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then 4 single crochet. So you could call this the 4, 4, and 4 if you want to count them. So 4 single crochet, a 4 wrap puff, then 4 single crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we work our front post double crochets. That's 1 single crochet and another one, another front post. Then we work our 4, 4, and 4. So no yarn over. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 single crochet, a 4 wrap puff, 1, 2, 3, and 4, then 4 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we work our front post doubles. 1 single crochet and front post double. Okay, this is the repeat. Then we just start working 4, 4, and 4 again. 2, 3, and 4. And that's the repeat. Here we go. I might as well finish it with you since I'm already here. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then our front post doubles, 1 single crochet and front post double. Then we end with 2 single crochet. Then you will turn and work your 1 row of single crochet. The next row after the single crochet row will be the 4, 4, and 4 row, because we're going to start this little diamond formation all over again. So you will work the 4, 4, and 4 after you work your row of singles. Then you will work a row of singles. Then you will work your 2, 3, and 2 row. Then you will work a row of singles. Then you will work your 4, 4, and 4 row. And that's the repeat over and over and over again. So let me work one more of these repeats with you, so that you really have it locked in. So we are going to chain 1 turn, work our row of single crochet, and I will be right back. Okay, finished my row of single crochet. Now we turn and we start as usual with our 2 single crochet, our front post with a single crochet and a front post. And here is going to be our 4, 4, and 4 row. So we work 1, 2, 3, and 4. And right on top of that other puff, we work a puff. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we work our 4 singles. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we work our front posts. Okay, so work this all the way to the end. Your 4, 4, and 4 row. And your 4 singles. Okay. Oh, let me pop this little guy out. There we go. That's how things should be looking. I'll be back when we get to the end of the row. Okay, all done with this row. Now we just turn and work our 1 row of single crochets. There we go. I'll be back. Okay, made it all the way to the end of the row. Chain 1, turn, and we start the same way. 2 single crochets, front post double, single crochet, front post double. Now we're going to work our 2, 3, 2 row. So that's 2 single crochet, Then we work the wrap, the wrap, the 4 wrap puff, 2, 3, and 4. Then we work 3 single crochet, 1, 2, and 3. Then we work the puff, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we work 2 single crochet, making it the 2, 3, 2 row, 1 and 2, and we work our front posts, single crochet and front post. There we go. Pop these out. That's how it should be looking right now. So continue to work this all the way to the end, and then I'll work the last row of the repeat with you, and I'll let you know how many rows of this you need to work. I finished that row of the 2, 3, 2. Now we're going to work our 1 row of single crochet, and I'll be back when I get back to this end after I've worked the row of single crochet. Okay, made it all the way to the other end with my single crochet row. Now I'm going to work this last row with you and then leave you to it, but let you know how many rows you need to work, and then we will work on cinching around the halter neck area. So we start with our 2 single crochet and our front posts, single crochet and front post. Now here is where we work the 4, 4, and 4 row to create the little diamond. So we work 4 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This really is a fun pattern to work. Then we work our puff stitch, 2, 3, and 4. Then we work 4 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we work our front posts, and this is the repeat all the way to the end. Then you will work a row of single crochet. Then you will work your row of 4, 4, and 4 again, which will start the bottom of your new diamond. So it's always going to go with the row 4, how do I word this? You're going to work your 4, 4, and 4, and then your 2, 3, 2, then 4, 4, and 4 2 times in a row, then 2, 3, 2, then 4, 4, and 4 2 times in a row. So that's how that's going to work, and it's just going to keep creating these little diamonds here. So this is the full repeat right here. Let's see if I can get a better visual to block this off for you. So this is the repeat right here. That. So you want to work this over and over and over again. And so you will need to work 6 for the size small, medium. You will work 6 of these diamond formation groups, ending with your last row being a single crochet. You need 6 of those. And for larger than that, now that's for about a B cup. If you are small to medium and you have a larger bust size, then I would do maybe one or two or even 1.5 extra where your last 2 are just 2 little baubles here. If you are large, extra large, again, just keep trying it on and seeing how you like the coverage. This does, as you saw in the pictures, this does go all the way up to the neck. So just keep trying it on and seeing how well it's fitting you and how many repeats of the diamond shape here you need to work. Okay, so come on back whenever you have reached the height that you want, and then we'll work on the rest, and we're just about done. Okay, now we're going to work 1 row of double crochet. So what I like to do with my double crochets on projects like this where it's going to be visibly worn, instead of working a chain 3, so like, I'll just start this over again here with you so you'll see exactly what I mean. You'll work your last single crochet and then stop right there. No chain 1. Then we turn. We're going to work a stacked single crochet. So you'll go directly into the same stitch we just worked and pull up make a single crochet. Sorry, not pull up, but make a single crochet. Now you see we have the top of our stitch right here that we just made. Here is the side of it. Well, we're going to, oh, butterfingers. We're going to work into this forward loop right here, just like this, and work another single crochet, and that is like a double crochet alternate. And then just work one double crochet into every single stitch all the way to the end. And when you get to the end, come back and I'm going to show you what we're going to do next, okay? Okay, worked our double crochet all the way across. Now, just like we did before, we're not going to chain, we're going to turn, and we're going to work a stacked single crochet again, but we're going to work it into the back loop. Now we're going to work into the back loop of all these double crochets to help us create a bend. So working into the back loop of this stitch, work a single crochet, and then once again into that forward loop right there, work your next single crochet. There we go. Now we're going to work into the back loop of every double crochet. This is going to help us create a bend like this, because we're going to encapsulate our drawstring through here. So that's how we're going to do that. So just keep working your double crochets into all of the back loops all the way to the end, and I will catch up with you at the end of this row. Okay, last stitch, and the beauty of a stacked single crochet is it's an actual stitch to work into. Back loop only on that last stitch. There we go. Now we can bend this like this. Let me show you a little bit better here. Now that we worked that in the back loop, it's going to allow us to bend this down very easily without putting any stress and curling the top. And we're going to stitch this across, but we're not going to stitch it like every stitch. We're actually going to go every like 3 stitches, because it'll be too firm if we stitch every stitch, and we want there to be a gathering. You see how it's already gathering like that? And so when we do go to stitch this portion shut, it's going to be like every 3 stitches is where we're going to put the needle so that we have some bend. But yes, there we go. And then it will be gathered like this up toward the top. Of course, it'll look much better than me scrunching it with my hand. So let's go ahead and sew. I highly recommend that you use a darning needle to do this. And it's what I am going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and cut, and I'm going to cut a really, really super long tail. That's probably too long, but you know, it's always good to have too much than not enough. Okay. Turn this around like this. Get the super long tail. There we go. And we're going to start with just simply securing the end right here. Just like that. And then we'll find another spot to come back up through. Okay. So now we're going to skip like 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and then go into here. And remember, everywhere you want to skip needs to be in the back. Well, I'll show you what I mean. Words are not my friend today, so I'm not speaking very well, very swell. And then find a little stitch here that you can immediately go right back into, because we don't want the elongated stitches on this side. See what I'm saying? So we'll immediately go right back in, just like that. That way our stitch work is just on the inside. You see what I'm saying? Now we're going to skip like 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th stitch over, do this again. And I'm not pulling real tight either. Then immediately just go right back in. There we go. See there? Nice and clean on the outside. 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th stitch, we do this again. Okay, so do this all the way to the end. I will catch back up with you when we get down to the other end. Okay, just coming up on the end. 1, 2, 3. A little hair. 1, 2, 3, and in the last stitch, secure it down. There we go. Then I'm just going to weave in some of this tail back here. There we go. Okay, now we will work on the drawstring for the halter neck. Okay, so with your 5mm hook, make a chain of 90, and actually a chain of 91 because you want that extra one to create a little knot. And at this point here, you can put little beads on the ends or whatever you wish to do. I'm just gonna knot them up and then cut them. I'm not gonna leave them long like this, but let me show you. Now, if you have a Tunisian hook, this is gonna be super, super duper easy. So first I'll show you how to do this with the Tunisian hook, then I'll show you how to do it if you don't have a Tunisian hook. Okay, so if you do have your Tunisian hook, you will work your Tunisian hook into the portion that we sewed up. Hook one of your chains and then turn it upside down so it doesn't catch any of your stitches. So you can see I have the hook upside down now. And just go ahead and hook this, pull it on through. Super, super satisfying. There we go. And that is all that you'd have to do, and then just put it on and tie it to your liking. But if you don't have a Tunisian hook, then grab a regular crochet hook that doesn't have like a handle like this and just work it in there the best you can. And then it's going to be the same basic concept. There we go. Really hold on to the back of it like this and hook it on. Try to keep your hook upside down so it doesn't catch anything on the way through. And with this one, you'll have to really be mindful because it's a little more likely to catch, but then you can just pull it right on through. There you go. Then you can, again, put it on and cinch it. There we go. Now let's go and see how it looks on the mannequin.